there for the last 9 months after losing his roofing job, but Cody Sullivan hadn't seen Jack or Lily since he and Malaya separated 3 years ago. He'd cut ties after she filed for full custody of the children. Over the coming days, police returned twice more to interrogate him and take photos of vehicles. Through the night, search and rescue volunteers combed the woods, and helicopters and drones that can detect body heat, scanned overhead. Malaya was up too, texting with Belinda. "I have reason to believe they may have been taken by someone," she wrote. "They should have found them by now if they were in the woods." The next morning, Belinda set out to help search for her grandchildren. As she drove toward her trailer on Highway 289 past the trail of orange traffic cones, it hit her where she was headed. Oh, this isn't good. Over the last 2 years, Malaya had distanced herself from Belinda. She stopped bringing the children to visit, later explaining that Daniel was jealous and didn't want her going there or even giving out the address. Sign of coercive control right there. The grandmother said she had never been invited to the house until she showed up to help in the search. Belinda didn't know this was the home where her grandchildren were living in and damn near puked. A home that she'd noticed multiple times on her way while driving to Halifax. Wow, she says, she thought. As she stepped inside to speak to Malaya, everything she saw, from the junk-strewn yard to the cluttered kitchen, was the total opposite of the neat and tidy woman she used to know. She had to say wow twice. Everything she saw, from the junk-strewn yard, like the dryer, the suitcase. What the hell is the suitcase doing out there? The junk-strewn yard to the cluttered kitchen was a total opposite of the neat and tidy woman she used to know. Even though she'd heard it once before, she needed to hear it again. "What happened?" she asked. Malaya opened the low, rumbling, sliding patio door in the kitchen, demonstrating how she assumed the children quietly left the home while she and Daniel were sleeping as opposed to fighting like cats and dogs. "Well, Malaya," Belinda recalled saying, "you're the mom. You know these kids the best." You know these kids better than anybody, so where do you feel they'd go? What would take their interest? What direction would they go? Malaya had no idea. She didn't even want to have a conversation about it, guys. Malaya just said, "I don't know. I don't know." She's already written them off. "I don't know." You don't even want to hazard a guess, and at a time of an emergency, your kids need you more so than anything you would expect. And she's the first one to bail. The suitcase was for the hamster? Oh, I would expect. Maybe it was a playpen. That day, as search and rescue teams tramped through the woods, rolling ankles and plucking ticks from their skin, like Belinda, or Janie, Malaya stood on the side of the highway in front of a local television camera. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet. Think about that logic there. It's raining and they're probably... How about it's raining and they're soaking wet? Because of the rain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet. But with the sun today, I'm hopeful they're feeling warm. Well, it depends what you consider warm. As, you know, how cold I was about 2 hours ago. No. It's so detached. It drives me nuts reading that statement. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they're feeling warm. She said, swallowing back tears. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. I don't think so. That's not true. We want them home. Everyone loves them. You're filled with pain and sorrow because you just want them found. As though that's somebody else's responsibility at this point in time. You've done all your best to paint Jack and Lily as voluntarily walking out that door up to that point in time. She also took to Facebook pleading for police to issue an Amber Alert, a national public alert to help locate abducted children. I want my babies home. My children are not shy to strangers and will go with anyone. They don't understand stranger danger, she wrote on May 3rd. Neither does Janie, because you got Durwood and Kent over there all the time. Daniel also pushed for such an alert. Oh, God darn it, of course he would. Telling the Globe that an abduction is a possibility. One moment, please. Yes, excuse me, friends. Sorry about that. My apologies. My apologies. I had to sort out just one of my daughter's tablets here. We have a battery issue. So, I'll continue on. Here, darling. It's still booting up, my dear. Just give us a second. Oh my gosh. This frickin' thing. I hear you, beautiful. Here, can you get it? I think I got it. Sorry for the delay, my friend. Sorry for the delay. It's such a pain in the ass. Holy shit. 1 second, please. Holy mackerel. We had a hard go of it here. We're back. Oh, Faxworth Smith. Welcome in. Let me see. If Wade knew what was going on, then Cindy knows everything. She had better talk too. Robin Edwards, I would think that probably they have a lot to do with where they are now, with what's going on in front of the court, or what's going to be going on. They would be there, part of what corroborates Malaya's stories as witnesses, right? So I'm trying hard not to sell them out at this point in time. I like to think that they're doing things because they need to paint a bigger picture of the culprit. And him now being an SO after he goes through this process of charges, it will then paint and force the investigators to be treating this case in a completely different manner. Because, of course, they would have been living with a out-of-control, tyrannical SO, painting an even clearer picture about what happened. If not already know everything that happened from Malaya at that point in time, because she's more comfortable. Takes a little time, one day at a time. So, going back a little bit, I'll pick up. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they're feeling warm, she said, swallowing back tears. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. Except Janie. Daniel. Janie's dog. And Durwood and Kent. Oh, they say they love kids in the clean way. I forgot. She also took to Facebook, pleading for police to issue an Amber Alert, a national public alert to help locate abducted children. I want my babies home. My children are not shy to strangers and will go with anyone. They don't understand stranger danger. She's really suggesting there on May the 3rd. Daniel also pushed for such an alert because he's an idiot, telling the Globe and Mail that abduction is a possibility. Something he said he tried to raise early on with police, but he said they looked at him like he was crazy. I think they were looking at you that way because of different reasons. Perhaps it's because the home was so remote, where few travel or have reason to pass. Also, Nova Scotia police require specific criteria to activate an Amber Alert, including a description of the child. Daniel can't even do that because he says the clothes aren't even important in the first place. Abductor or vehicle and reasonable grounds to believe an abduction has occurred. In this case, RCMP have repeatedly said they have no such evidence. Friends, there's 228 people in here. Hit that thumbs up while you're listening, friends. I asked them to go to every airport, all of the airports, an intake for different provinces, PEI in New Brunswick, Daniel said. Fuck, they're not even that busy. Daniel said this breaking down crying like a little bitch. Just breaks down crying as though that's just the hook to all of this. How many times are you going to break down crying, dude? Why are you crying now? Especially when you haven't said anything. They will go with anybody, he says, because they're undiagnosed autistic. They will go with anybody as long as you offer them food or water. Think about that. Food or water. Say, I'll take you home to mom or dad, and they'll immediately get in with them. He's already thinking like a predator. That's how he gets most of his dates on Facebook dating. That's how he got Malaya. Old Danny's talking about how they're undiagnosed autistic. That's not a thing, you fucking moron. You're undiagnosed autistic, bro. But then again, they'll never be able to tell because of the copious levels of mathematics that you stink into your face. Sucking on that glass dick. Blah, 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 blah. I asked them to go over to every airport. We've got that one. 15. The struggles didn't end there. Malaya described Daniel as controlling and eventually as a sex offender, and said she had wanted out, writing in a message to Belinda on June 15th that I never wanted to stay there in the first place. Holy shit, I'd say. It was an absolute nightmare. Hell, Janie made it even worse. Didn't you, Janie? Belinda wrote back saying she wished Malaya would have reached out. We would have done what we could to help. I know, Malaya responded. My mom is saying the same thing. Cindy, Malaya's mother, declined to be interviewed. After the children's disappearance, Malaya also confided in her paternal grandmother, Connie Brooks, who's a member of the Sipeknecatic First Nation. She described how Daniel could hold her down and take her phone. Well, God bless Connie Brooks for coming out. See, there's something that you wouldn't know any of the different when you read it for the first time, but in hindsight, Connie Brooks is very brave to come out and say that in the news. She described how Daniel would hold her down and take her phone. He was having her, I don't know what you call it, scared. She couldn't go anywhere, do anything. He was having her, I don't know what you call it, scared. She couldn't go anywhere or do anything, Connie said. That's what she told me, and that's what I told the detectives, Connie said. High five. When she asked her granddaughter about the rug use in the home, she said Malaya told her that Daniel concealed a rug addiction for nearly the first year of their relationship. Can you imagine that tweaker running around the house? Tweaker running around Patty's house? That rando tweaker that Malaya just brought home from Facebook. Daniel did not respond to questions about these allegations, but he has insisted in interviews with the Globe that he's never struggled with rugs and does not have a problem, just like he doesn't have any financial problems, y'all. Early on, straight up denial. Don't talk to me about my rug problems. It has everything to do with this. Silly didn't respond to the questions about these allegations, but he has insisted in interviews with the Globe that he's never struggled with rugs and does not have a rug problem. Despite that, he has admitted to taking mathematics and pretty much everything, he said recently, started attending Narcotics Anonymous 3 times a week. And is taking online courses in anger management, depression, parenting, child protection, substance abuse, the unaliving, self-unaliving, and violent behavior that are recognized by child protective officials. I have to clear my name for CPS, he said. It's best to do that. Well, they don't make you take all of those things for no reason. It tells everybody there's something to be concerned about here, based off of what Malaya has been telling them. Imagine the things that she's not telling them. They can. Without answers, theories abound. For some, maybe they're a way to hold out hope or shift attention elsewhere. Isn't that interesting? Theories abound. Without answers, theories abound. For some, maybe they're a way to shift attention elsewhere. Skip what they first said. Maybe they're a way to hold out hope or to shift attention elsewhere. It's calling out the in the same sort of double entendre. There's a meaning, and the journalist is signaling, recognizing that there's all kinds of tomfoolery about with Daniel, sock accounts, Durwood, and Kent. That's calling them out right there. There are those who believe the children are still alive, taken or hidden somewhere. One such rumor circulating in social media group chats is that Lily and Jack were taken by one of Malaya's relatives and are being held on a reserve. Darren. The rumor prompted Sipekaknik Chief Michelle Glasgow to respond on social media. That whole dialogue was made up by a racist fool. Exactly, Durwood is a racist fool. That's Darren Geddes. And anyone entertaining it is a racist fool. Exactly what we've been saying here, and it comes out every time Durwood frickin' talks. She wrote this in a text message that she posted to Facebook on July 10th. Well, my hats go off to you, Chief Michelle. The vacuum of information about the missing children's case has stoked voracious demand for clues and conjecture on social media and in online true crime communities. One of the most popular online sources in the true crime amateur community, there's misinformation, is Sunny at It's a Criming Shame, a self-absorbed Vancouver-based YouTube channel which has morphed into exclusively discussing this case. So it goes on to say, host Sonny Austin invites guests on the show to discuss the case and rant provocatively. I'd say a little bit more provocative and accurate, but she's good too. She calls it out. Calling out those who she disbelieves. In the case of Jack and Lily, Daniel frequently pops up in her live chats like a whack-a-mole, she says. Belinda has also called in and been treated like shit several times, by the way, according to some people. Let's see here. Belinda has also called in as a guest. Most recently, she presented text messages with Malaya. Fantastic. Who, when reached by phone, refused to verify whether the text messages were hers. It's very difficult to do that over the phone. Malaya has also repeatedly declined to be interviewed by the Globe, saying police advised her not to speak to the media. She said she has put her faith 100% in the authorities to find Lily and Jack. It looks like that's more true than we recognized. On the ground, the high-profile case has also conjured up other drama. Durwood, Kent. Recently, a local online content creator arrived at the home. Tint of Malaya's mother. I won't even read that. They're just going to trash Tint in that sense. We don't need to do that. 45-minute interaction with her partner, Wade Paris, discussing the missing children, and posted the video online. The interviews with the Globe and Mail, Daniel has said he had nothing to do with the children's disappearance, and he said he passed a polygraph test with police to prove it. Well, congratulations. He lamented the stigma the case carries over into his everyday life. Well, so is this SO situation. He's on stress leave from the mill. People stare or give him dirty looks whenever he goes out in public. Most recently, at a used car dealership, he said a salesman snatched a vehicle key from his hand and walked away when he realized he was talking to Lily and Jack's stepfather. I wonder who that guy is. That guy deserves a high five and a pat on the back. You can't afford this car. We know what you're going to do with it. No, I'm good. He said a salesman snatched a vehicle key away from his hand and walked away when he realized he was talking to Lily and Jack's stepfather. I wonder if that's even true. His Facebook is filled with direct messages from strangers calling him a child unaliver. Where are the bodies? He said they ask every day. Yeah, they're relentless. But then a profile that the Globe has previously communicated with Daniel on also appears in Facebook chat groups frequently, offering up riddles and conjecture that the children were taken by someone they know and are being held prisoner. As long as I remain the target, the sick person or persons that have the kids may relax and make a mistake. The RCMP better capitalize on that, the user wrote this week. That's Daniel. That's Danny's sock account. His mother, Janie, the old crow, has said she also believes the children are still alive because his mother, Janie, has said she also believes the children are still alive because she says they have never gone into the woods by themselves or wandered off. That's why they're alive? Doesn't really answer the question. A self-described hermit, just a nasty trailer trash, rotten mouth, stinky ass, never washing, Timu wearing hermit. It took her more than 2 months to speak publicly because she's scared. doing an interview for the CBC and releasing voice memos. In a public social media chat, she said she heard the children playing in the backyard from inside her nasty RV in the driveway on the morning they disappeared, and she too believes somebody took them. Malaya's community of Sepakaknik, her father Henry Brooks, is hopeful his grandchildren will be found. He says the last time he spoke with the children, Jack told him he loved them. It's weighing heavy on me, he said, really heavy. At her home in Middle Muscodobit, Belinda spends her days alternately tending her sprawling back garden and advocating for her missing grandchildren. She appears on YouTube live streams and in social media chats, picking up breadcrumbs along the way that she hopes will lead to Jack and Lily. In her blue and white kitchen, where Jack once crawled across the laminate floor and Lily hammed it up with their gardening hats and old eyeglasses, she's resigned to a grim reality. I think somebody there must know what happened, she said about the mobile home in Lansdowne. Isn't that powerful for somebody who was there and experiencing and witnessing it to say, Jack and Lily's grandmother, Belinda says, I think somebody must know what happened. Let me repeat that, excuse me. I think somebody there, meaning at the trailer, at Garlock Road, must know what happened, she said about the mobile home in Lansdowne. I don't believe my grandchildren are alive, but not to get answers like this is... I don't believe my grandchildren are alive. But to not get answers, it's like, no, there's answers out there. Exactly. It's why we do this. 2 kids just don't disappear in the morning and nobody knows nothing. So if they don't find answers outside that home, then the answers are inside that home. And that's not Belinda just watching Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack. This ain't the Twilight Zone. In hindsight, Belinda says she wishes she would have pushed harder to see the kids, to see Lily on her birthday in March. Looking at photos of the children from the past 2 years, she noticed they looked thin, possibly malnourished with dry, cracked lips. Something, she says, she might have picked up on had she seen them in person, and it makes her wonder about the other adults in their lives. She recently learned others had concerns about the children's safety in the home. She also wants to know what child protection social workers knew prior to Jack and Lily's disappearance. I hate to say it, but every one of us failed them, Belinda said. We all failed these kids. Yeah, well, talk to Earl, pal. Why don't you talk to Earl?